Wish you a very happy Diwali. I was sitting in my study and deleting some old files in my computer, and during that whole process I found one document written during last year during the Festival of Education that I wish to share with you. It reads, "With a slight hesitation, I am here with you. Firstly, it is because it's a kind of intrusion. I wasn't a part of your schedule. But it's being the Festival of Education, I could not resist myself. And so I am here with few words. Once a great philosopher, a great aesthetician, that is one who discovers or thinks about beauty, dwelt on beauty. He had written a great number of treatises on beauty. His complete endeavor was to define beauty. He was sitting in his room, completely immersed in thought. But after too much thinking, he got exhausted. He closed his books, closed his eyes, put down his pen, and took a deep breath and thought, it's too hard to define. Whatever he thought, he found it a mess of ignorance. It is perhaps because he thought beauty is not human, but it's a divine attribute. It is a God's belonging. How shall his mind can define what is truly beauty? Fed up with his thought, he rose from his chair, come out of his study. It was past midnight. It was a full moon night, with stray stars and pleasant shivers flowing and awakening every cell of his body, and moonlight drizzling through the branches of trees and tiny flowers of parisat. A very beautiful scene it was, and in that moment he lived what exactly is beauty. Truth or beauty, when slowly enters in our experience, it becomes our part. It becomes part of our sensibility, and then our thought can apprehend its true significance, its true dimensions, can understand its worth. What I understood in last few days listening to you is our education should be child-centric. In the just now told anecdote, beauty cannot be defined. It is to be lived. Now shall we put a story slide differently? A great thinker in pursuit of knowledge thought and scored heaps of knowledge, but had nothing. But see another example, Newton or Einstein. They also spent their lives in search of some truth, but they had their vision, they had their discoveries at a fraction of a moment. And that fraction, whether the apple falling from a tree, it's happened at a fraction of a moment, and that revelation come there. Knowledge, as Einstein or any great leader had read, it is a part of books. It is a part of libraries. Knowledge is always others. Knowing is absolutely ours. Knowing is absolutely ours. Don't give the ready-made knowledge. Don't feed children directly with bread. give them grains of wheat. Let them grind, let them cook, and let them sow handful to reap plentiful. It is the magic, not of knowledge, but of knowing. I, an observer and a father, quite delighted with your emphasis on the concept, let children learn, let children know, let children understand. It's a very beautiful concept. I wish to give you heart wishes in continuing this festival of education during this year also. This pursuit of experiential learning will be very, very fruitful for children. I wish to allude some of the lines written as a reply to a student of literature whose question was, what is life? Instead of giving a direct reply, which I think wasn't possible, what I tried to give some assertions, some impulses to propel them to discover the answer for themselves. The question was, what is life? What is life? Firstly, it is an absurd question, but still the most authentic. First, be sure, is there any life? How my reason can negate, even when it finds liberal faces and dead bungalows, horrible poverty and undying deaths, but still life is like a rainbow flashed on horizon. Life is flowing rivers, unceased river, more than my breath's magic that makes me alive, more than my vision that makes me see how I name it. Look, flowing water is revelate, torrent, river, or death-seeking cataract. Life is a shadow of His grace, and His each embrace with the dead eye of mine. How long I continue? Life is each taken step. Life is each taken breath. Life is each and every cry that on my horizon die. Life is each chuckle that can be freedom or shackle, that jingles its unceased rumor of living and dead. Oh, I know it's beyond each measure of words, reasons, and the known. Now revealed, now is the mystery ground. Let give students the elusive to make them explore and arrive at the concrete. I think one of the aims of education is to enable children to think on their own, to propel them to arrive at some truth. This inherent capability of knowing would be a discovery to them. I think it is your very wonderful task, and hope it will be continued in this year and a year ahead. Thank you. And again, I wish you happy Diwali. Thank you.